And we're live. Okay. So you caught me just in time to scratch my nose. That's nice. So before I start this video, I want to give a shout out to my Aunt June, who's probably going to be watching this because she watches all my videos and always leaves a comment. It's very nice of her. It's always nice to have more interaction in the videos, so I always appreciate that. She's always supported me in my YouTube endeavors, and it's always nice to see you in the comments, Aunt June. So, hello. So, all right. So, what we got here today is the G.I. Joe Classified. This is the retro card Lady Jaye in her bright green outfit, as opposed to the regular carded Lady Jaye that is in her, a little slightly more muted bright green outfit. So I'm gonna be real with you guys. I don't know what the point of this figure was. like I'm gonna say, look, just looking at the figures in the box, there's like some slight improvements with this one over the first one, but it's not like the first one was that bad. It really needed to be remade immediately. And even if you were gonna put out another Lady Jaye, like maybe make it a little more different. Like both of these are very strongly based off of the original figure. Maybe make the newer one look more like the cartoon or something like that. But no, they took it in a different direction. So this one has some different accessories, and it has some accessories that are missing from the previous one, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. And let me go ahead and grab these over here that I pulled out. So these are some other accessories that came with the first Lady Jaye, which is this backpack, and this backpack has an extra sphere head in the back. I believe it only came with 3 sphere heads, but it's been a while since I opened this one. I think I did an unboxing video of this one, so you can go back and check that out if you are interested. And then she had this cap with a little bit of hair hanging out. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I did a review of that one. I'm pretty sure I did an unboxing of that one. So I was talking about how creepy it was that you pulled her hair off, and she just had this weird sort of scarred head underneath. Honestly, I kind of feel like I felt this way more with Zorana than I feel with Lady Jaye, but it probably would have been better just to have a plain old bald head than this weird groove all the way around the head. At least with Zorana, I could see her like being somebody who shaves her head and just wears wigs all the time for practicality's sake. And Lady Jaye is also supposed to be a master of disguise, so I guess, she could do that too, but whatever. So looking at the artwork, this is clearly based off of the artwork that was on the original Lady Jaye figure, but is not the same artwork. And it seems to have the same sort of thing going on that I was talking about with Zartan, where it looks like they took the figure and put her into the pose that they wanted her in, and then just kind of like either photoshopped it or put a filter onto it or something to make it look like it was a painting rather than it being an actual painting. Maybe they painted it after the fact, but I gotta figure it's probably some kind of digital artwork these days. So, but you can see like the joints are still in the figure in some places. Like this abdominal joint is still here, and if you look at the knees, they look like knee joints, where like you even have like a little bit of knee joint here. See what I'm talking about? So yeah, I think I figured out how they do these. It's not like traditional artwork. And she has the gigantic file card with very little information on the back. So let's go ahead and read that. Lady Jaye, Hart Burnett, Allison R. That is a mouthful of an Allison R. Hart Burnett. That's a mouthful of a name. Role covert operations. Primary specialty intelligence. Secondary specialty personnel clerk. Birthplace Martha's Vineyard, Massachusetts. That means she comes from money. That's like a rich people's place to live. In fact, rich people usually don't live there. That's like where they keep like their summer house or something. An accomplished actress and mime, as well as a studied linguist. But is she a cunning linguist? Ha! I did that joke again. She can easily pass as a native in many countries around the world. Yeah, but that's like blackface. So you don't want to do that. That's racist. Don't do that. That's bad. Now, if they'd had the full biography that was on the original card, they would have said something like, she can, wear a shawl and have a bowl of oranges and fit in any native marketplace in the world. That sounds less bad because, but the way they phrase it here, it sounds like she's doing blackface. That's not cool. But anyway, let's go ahead and open her up. My card came off rather easily. This is the one that I got when I ordered Zartan, and I wanted to get free shipping, so I decided to order something else. And when I saw that these were on sale on the Walmart website for, I think it was not quite half off, but close enough to half off, I said to myself, I'll just get another Lady Jaye. I wanted to get one of these anyway because I wanted to do an unboxing. And I could use a spare Lady Jaye for extra parts. And I dropped her figure stand. The thing I like about these classified retro cards is they come with figure stands, and every figure should come with a figure stand. This should be like standard at this point. It shouldn't even be like, oh, here's a special thing, you get a figure stand. No, it should be like, this should be the standard. Every figure should come with a figure stand. These things can't cost more than like half a cent to make at this point. You've already got the mold. You might as well toss those in with the regular classified figures too. So let's go ahead and pull out her accessories. And one of the accessories that's unique to this version of Lady Jaye is she comes with this old school camcorder. She is a retro figure, so she's got some 1980s technology. And we can see that this one had like a little camera thing actually built into the backpack. A little more modern. We're going to do like a little bit of compare and contrast while we do this. And then we have her power javelin, which, like the one that came with the original figure, is in separate pieces. So let me see if I can peel the tape off. So then we have this arrowhead for it. And I think this one's probably like a grenade or something. This looks like the kind of gadget you could imagine on the Sunbow cartoon, where like she had all these gimmicks built into her javelin, like she was Green Arrow or something. And then we've got, here's an actual javelin itself, and that's got one of the more pointy arrowheads on there, spearheads, what do you want to call them? And it should come out, but didn't break it. Yeah, it just was rather tight. And you can see that in contrast to the one that came with the original figure, this one is black. That came with the original figure and has a painted arrowhead, and this is just all molded in silver plastic. So they went a little more El Cheapo with this one, but they had to make some new accessories for it. And honestly, if you're doing a retro figure, like this is how they did it in the 80s. We got like usually one solid piece of plastic was the color of the weapon. So, that is fitting with that. What we often did not get in the 80s figures was a knife that goes in her sheath. She's got a tiny little knife, and that's going to go into a sheath in her belt. We'll get to that in a minute. And then we have this backpack, which, unlike this backpack, which I really like this backpack. It's really cool. It's got like space to store some of the extra arrowheads. It's got a little loop over here where you can have her second spear. By the way, this one has 2 javelins, and the first one only comes with 1 javelin, or the new one only comes with 1 javelin. So that's another thing where it's a little more fancy. But this one doesn't have any room for any kind of storage at all. It's just a solid slug of a backpack. Now, granted, I'm going to give them props for this. This is a much more accurate backpack to the original vintage figure, which that is the point of this figure, is to be a little more accurate to the vintage figure, obviously. But at the same time, I like that backpack. This backpack was an improvement over what the original figure came with. And this backpack is just kind of an homage to the original. So it even has that little carabiner on the back that looks kind of slightly like a J. So that's nice to point out. So it's not a bad backpack. And if this was the only Lady J figure and this was the only backpack, I'd probably be like, that's a pretty good backpack. But I already had this backpack on the first one that is way more functional and cooler. I like this backpack better. So don't revoke my my vintage toy fan card over that. I can go with improvements when they actually make improvements. And then this is the part of the weapon that actually makes the power javelin a power javelin, which is this launcher thing. And I suppose if you wanted to, you could probably just use this as a separate weapon and pretend like it's like a small shotgun or something like that. But what you're supposed to do is insert the javelin into the weapon like so. And that gives us like an approximation of the original javelin that came with the figure, where it had a little launcher attached to it. And this was all one solid piece in the figure. But this one, you can actually launch it out if you want to. Or, since it's a separate piece, you can just have her hold it like a spear and throw it at people like she did on the animated series oftentimes. So I don't think she ever had a launcher for her javelins on the Sunbow cartoon. So we're going to go and put that back together. And let's go ahead and gear her up. Get her out of the package. We'll put the knife back. I don't know why I picked that knife up. I don't even have her out of the box yet. All right, now one other accessory that is missing from this version of Lady Jaye that was with the first one, we can see here as I have her displayed, is that this one had the separate hair piece that I was talking about, and that way you could have her without her cap. Again, how she was usually depicted in the Sunbow cartoon and usually depicted in the Marvel comics. Now, I can think of a few instances in the Marvel comics where she actually did wear her cap, but I can't think of any instances offhand where she did not wear her cap on the Sunbow cartoon. So this does not have any more reference to the Sunbow cartoon than the first figure had. In fact, it has less. So if you're a fan of the Sunbow cartoon and you're looking to buy one of these Lady Jaye figures, and trust me, you can get her for a good price. She's cheap on Amazon. She's cheap on the Walmart website. Either one of these you can get for cheap on the Walmart website. And right now, at my Ollie's, not only do they have this particular Lady Jaye figure at Ollie's for $12, but they have more G.I. Joe classified figures than I've ever seen on any shelf at any store at any one time, and it's all Lady Jaye, because this figure was a massive peg warmer, and in a series that's like ridiculously popular, and they can't keep it on the shelf. Lady Jaye is the one figure they were able to keep on the shelf, and I hate to say it because I love the character, but she was not a very well selling character. And before anybody points out that, well, female figures don't sell as well as male figures, generally, yeah, I guess, but they couldn't keep Scarlet on the shelves. They couldn't keep Baroness or Zorana on the shelves, at least not until they got to the retro card Baroness, which she's kind of a peg warmer. But the first Baroness on the motorcycle, I never even saw on the shelf. Even the movie version of the Baroness sold pretty swiftly. The Snake Eyes Origins movie line, like, most of the characters in that line were women. like there were 5 characters that I can think of in that figure line. Maybe I'm missing somebody, but you had Snake Eyes, you had Storm Shadow, it's 2 men, and then you had Scarlet, the Baroness, and not Jinx. So that's 3 women to 2 men, and all those figures seem to sell like relatively well. I mean, like when they had a few left over, it was usually the Baroness and not Jinx, and you can still get those for pretty cheap on like Amazon. They had a couple of those at Ollie's, but it wasn't like this Lady Jaye figure. This Lady Jaye figure just did not sell. And if you didn't buy this Lady Jaye figure at the time, you need to buy her now that she's cheap. Because what's going to wind up happening is people are going to buy a ton of these things because they're going to want to customize her. And at some point, Lady Jaye is going to go from being like the $12 peg warmer that you find at Ollie's to a very sought after figure, because a lot of people have bought her and cut her up and done head swaps on her and painted her and sanded her, and these figures aren't going to be as plentiful in the future as they are now. So if you're watching this and you're a G.I. Joe Classified collector and you haven't bought either of these Lady Jaye figures yet, do yourself a favor. Listen to this old geek right here that's talking to you right now. Go to the Walmart website and buy both of them. And that might be enough even to get you free shipping right there. If not, get yourself, or order some, pencils or something, that just enough to get it sent to your house, or get both of them. Hell, get like 3 figures. You can buy 2, whichever one you prefer, and save them, hold them, because one day these figures are going to be a lot more valuable than they are right now. I'm telling you that. So I've seen it happen before, where all of a sudden the peg warmer is a sought after figure because they got snatched up. So listen to me. I know what I'm talking about. All right, so let's go ahead and, after that little rant, go ahead and put her knife in her sheath on her belt. And unfortunately, neither of these Lady Jaye figures has what I feel like should be an essential accessory, which is a holster with a sidearm. She's supposed to be a crack shot with a pistol. Where's her pistol? So her hat still comes off. So Hasbro was at least wise enough, kind enough, however you want to phrase it, to do that if you have the first Lady Jaye and you want to put the wig on her, you can do that. Now, looking at these 2 figures, I've got to realize, and this is another reason it might be good to buy 2 of these off the Walmart website right now when you get them both for cheap, is if you took the pants off of this one. If you took the pants off of this one, because remember the legs are, easily to pop off once they're heated, and this middle section is like rubber trunks over a hard plastic pelvis, so you can switch out the pants on these figures fairly easily. You could take the darker pants and put them on the brighter shirt, and then take the hair off of this one and put it onto this one. In fact, let's go ahead and do that right now. See what it looks like. She has I think this one has a better paint application on the face too. I haven't mentioned that yet. But there we go. If we took the legs off of this one and put them onto this body with this hair, that gives you a pretty good approximation, I think, of the Sunbow version of Lady Jaye, if one were so inclined to do that. So, and I think this head does look good with his hair. That's probably going to be my default Lady Jaye. Once all is said and done, is I'm probably going to put this hair onto this head. So they did a little bit of a better job with the makeup on this one than with this one. This one looks a little plain. So the head sculpt looks better with the newer makeup. So I'm going to, for now, I'm going to swap the hair and the hat back so we can examine her as she is. And where did I put the hat for, here we go, the hat for the old Lady Jaye? Because there are some differences here that I want to point out. For one thing, the standard classified has a navy blue hat with that G.I. Joe star logo on the hat. Let's see if I can get it to focus. Not really. But yeah, that's the little star logo that they have on there. I know some people don't like that, but I like it just fine. It is reminiscent of, like, it's still based on that old 80s G.I. Joe logo that I like so much. And this one has a paratrooper logo on her hat, like the original figure had. And it's not sculpted into it like the original figure. It's just kind of tampographed on there. But, because of advances in action figure tampagraphing technology, it actually does look a little bit better. So let's go ahead and we're going to put her power javelin into her hands and have her hold that. So, since she doesn't have any storage for the second javelin, it's probably a good thing that she doesn't have one, because you don't have to worry about one more thing getting lost, except for what am I supposed to do with this other arrowhead? There's no place to put it. Oh, maybe there is, because I just realized, there is the other slot in here. I've got both of the arrowheads for this one on the javelins, so I can stick this one in here, can't I? Oh. So I figured something out. Another reason to buy both of these. And you can mix and match the parts and make your perfect Lady Jaye, at least get as close as you can. Like I said, I think I can make a pretty good Sunbow Lady Jaye out of mixing together these two parts. Not an exactly perfect one, but one that I think would be close enough for horseshoes and hand grenades. And one other accessory that this version of Lady Jaye has, I'm going to point out that the second version is, I almost forgot about it, is she actually has a little bit of a bandolier. It's just a small, simple bandolier, got a hole in the back, the backpack to go through. In fact, why don't we go ahead and put the backpack onto her back right now? There we go. And so that is the first classified Lady Jaye. And the second classified Lady Jaye, the retro carded version. That's what they look like side to side. Now, which one of these figures is better? I think, like, as far as just the figure itself goes, without taking away, like, if you took away all the accessories and just had the figure, or if all the accessories were exactly the same, if all other things were equal, I think that this figure, the retro carded figure, would have the edge, because she does have the better paint applications on the base, and honestly, I think these brighter colors pop a little bit more. Now, that having been said, once we add the accessories into the mix, I think that the original classified Lady Jaye is the clear winner. She definitely has the better accessories. She has a better backpack. She has the better weapons, in that at least, like, there's some paint applications on some of these arrowheads, and that's kind of cool. She's got the extra hairpiece, so you can have her without the cap, and that's a good thing. She's got this bandolier that the other one doesn't have. And again, if you were gonna mix these two characters together, doesn't the Sunbow one have I think she has a bandolier. She has like a little. It's not quite a bandolier that goes across the chest, but it's one that comes down on this side and has a knife on it. Both of these kind of have like the backpack strap kind of web gear to them, but so as far as the figure itself goes, this one's the better figure. As far as the accessory goes, this one has the better accessories. It's, I think, worth buying both, so you can take the accessories of this one and put them onto this figure if you want to. And like I said, even swap out the legs, so she's got a darker green pants and it looks a little more like the Sunbow cartoon, if one were so inclined to do that. So if you want her to have just like the solid jumpsuit look, I mean, either one of these is good. But like I said, I kind of feel like the brighter colors on this one pop a little bit more, and they're a little more accurate to the original figure, and that's pretty cool. I do like the more modern style backpack with this one, with the more modern style equipment. I prefer the camera that's mounted on the backpack to the camcorder thing, which I forgot to even put on the figure when I geared her up. I just completely forgot about it. So it is neat to have this little accessory, though, so I'm not really complaining about it per se. But if I had to choose one, if I could only have one, I'd rather have this one with the camera on the backpack, because I think that's pretty neat. And even if you don't want that, sticking up, you can fold it out of the way, so it's fine. So, or even pop it off. It's just an old ball joint. So even if you hated that camera, it'd be worth having this backpack and popping this thing off and tossing it into your fodder bin, and because you still have storage for the other javelin, and that's a cool thing to have. Even if she only had one javelin, it'd be nice for her to have a place to store it when she's not using it, right? So I've been talking about this figure for almost a half an hour, and that's a long time to be talking about a figure that I think was kind of pointless. But But I think in the 25 minutes I've been talking about this figure, I've actually come around on it, and I've found that it has some point to it. So hopefully people didn't get mad and switch it off. How dare he call her useless? Turn it off immediately because I actually found some use for her, didn't I? Yeah, you're glad you stuck around now, aren't you? And if you did stick around, please like and subscribe and all the fun YouTube stuff down below. Let me know what you think about this figure in the comments. Let me know what you think about the character of Lady Jaye in the comments. What were some of her better moments in the various cartoons and animated series? I'm actually a big fan of the G.I. Joe Renegades cartoon. I thought that one was really good. I liked how they used Lady Jaye in that cartoon, and how she basically was forced to go on with Flint to try to capture Duke, but she was actually kind of on Duke's side and would warn him about stuff. I thought that was a neat dynamic. They gave her like a slight Hispanic accent of some sort on that show, and did her with like a slightly darker skin color. I guess to add a little more ethnic diversity to it, but I thought that actually worked really well. Uh, so yeah, yeah, that was a good show. I like that show. Anyway, we'll talk to you next time. Bye.